What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today, episode Heresy has just gone live within Destiny 2, and it has some really desirable weapons. The first ever Strand Support Frame Auto Rifle, the first ever Arc Area Denial Frame Grenade Launcher, but we're going to be showcasing how to get the ultra rare, almost secret versions of these weapons. I was streaming last night and most people didn't even know these existed, let alone how to get them. And they're either tied for or are literally the most powerful versions of legendary weapons we've ever seen in Destiny 2. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, when we're talking about episode Heresy weapons, and what the heck am I talking about, the uber rare, ultra rare versions of these weapons, there is actually 4 different versions of every episode Heresy weapon. Like, seriously. So let's showcase all 4 of those different versions with the Adamantite Auto Rifle. Again, this is that first ever Strand Support Frame Auto Rifle, a very desirable weapon. You're going to be going after this thing in episode Heresy. And the first version is just the base version. This is what we've come to expect with almost all of our legendary drops within Destiny 2. So you have the normal perk layout and you have access to only one origin trait. Now, that origin trait specifically is going to be called Willing Vessel. Dealing damage or defeating targets with this weapon gradually grants increased stability, handling, reload speed, and charge rate. This effect gradually decreases over time, but is gained more quickly while near allies. Okay, so then we get the second version, and that is the pre-masterworked version. So it's our same adamantite, but it now has double perks, right? So you can choose between those double perks, and double perks is very good. Remember, guys, this is very, very important. You can go into your inventory and switch your perks mid-activity, and even if it's with a heavy weapon or a special weapon, you lose no ammo when you do. So you can quite literally, if you have, there's a machine gun this season. If you have a machine gun, you can switch from ad clearing perks to boss DPS perks right before the boss fight of an activity, lose nothing, and gain a ton of advantage. So again, having double perks is not just getting a better chance for a god roll, it's actually giving you some utility in game. But importantly, with the pre-masterworked version, guys, you also get a second origin trait, Runneth Over. Now this comes from the King's Fall raid, I believe, and this says reloading near allies overflows the magazine. Bows receive faster draw time and swords receive faster charge rate. So, overflowing the magazine, that's incredibly powerful. Again, when we have a heavy weapon, just reload when you're next to your allies in a well DPSing, and suddenly you're gonna have, a bigger than normal magazine. That is crazy good for DPS. Now, these are going to be the 2 most common versions that people encounter, but then we move on to the third version, and that is the Adept version. So as you can see right here, we have a different appearance, and we go back to having that single set of perks and only one origin trait you can have. But with this Adept version, obviously it gains access to Adept mods. Now, again, it depends on the weapon how much this is going to matter, but just getting a plus 10 chunk of range, for a hand cannon, for example, if you're trying to use something in PvP, that is a massive deal. That's arguably even better than having the pre-masterwork double perk version, right? So we have the Adept versions of all of these Heresy weapons, and this just looks like most of the Adept weapons we have access to within the game. But then we have that 4th ultra rare version. I have not even gotten one of these. However, I have had some teammates who have been super lucky and gotten a couple, and I do have an image here to show you, luckily with that same adamantite, so you can compare the difference. But as you can see right here, you can get the pre-masterworked Adept version. So you have an Adept weapon, you gain better stats, right? Because it's Adept, when you masterwork it, like everything gets like a +3, right? You gain access to Adept mods, and then you also have those double perks, and especially important, you have that additional origin trait with Runneth Over. And guys, this almost never happens, right? Like with Nightfall Adepts and Trials Adepts, they have 2 perks in the left column, but only 1 in the right. So you're getting that additional perk option, and kind of the tiebreaker right here, if I'm being honest, is the fact that, as you can see, Heresy weapons, and only Heresy weapons, can be equipped with special seasonal weapon mods that offer really powerful effects. So overall, you have Adept weapons that come pre-masterworked with a bunch of different perk slots, way more than we usually see, that can be equipped with Adept mods, and that also get special seasonal weapon mods that other weapons can't get. Yeah, this again is really overall like the most powerful legendary weapons in the game at this current moment, I would say. Super desirable, but how do you get them? Well, it turns out that the different difficulty settings of the Nether matter a lot. The first base difficulty is advanced, but then if you up it to expert difficulty, as you can see, there are some changes, with the main one being that champions are going to spawn. The light level, or I should say power level, has increased within that, but honestly, we really didn't find it too bad. And the rate of Adept weapons goes up dramatically. Now, apparently you can actually still get Adept versions of these Heresy weapons in the normal difficulty Nether, but if you are able to bump it up to expert, again, you're going to be getting so much more. Especially remember, you don't have to go all the way through. You can just do the opening encounter, the opening boss fight of the expert difficulty, where the light level requirements are the lowest because the power level of the enemies increases after each main boss fight. Just do the first one and you're still gonna have a way better chance to get these super rare weapons, to get the Adept versions of these weapons. Now, there's actually more ways to get them, because we also have just opening chests, right? Because you don't have to do the encounters technically, you could just run past everything and open chests. Does that actually work? Well, as you can see right here, that's exactly what we're testing. Can you load into expert, gain the advantage of, more Adept drops, and then just farm chests and ignore the enemies? Turns out, not really. If you can get Adepts from chests, it is incredibly rare. We were even specifically trying to open as many of those special chests that require the Essence of Desire, and still none of us ever got an Adept weapon on expert difficulty. So unfortunately, even though I've gotten a couple of the pre-masterworked normal versions from chests, I've never gotten an Adept. So let me know in the comment section if you have, but obviously it's just not common enough to make this a reliable farm. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what the heck you saw in the background gameplay where I had the image of the grenade launcher above that chest, well, if you put on this particular ruin, you'll actually see the weapon that's going to drop from those taken chests that require the Essence of Desire. So you can only spend the Essence of Desire on the weapons you actually want. Another way of getting Heresy weapons is going to be the Tome of Want, right? Here you can slot in what weapon type you want. Like, you can just pick from Heresy weapons or a different kind of weapons, world drop weapons, and then specifically what exact kind of weapon you want. Do you want the seasonal auto rifle? Do you want the seasonal machine gun? And that's what you're seeing me do in the background gameplay. Unfortunately, again, I have not been lucky with getting Adept weapons from the Tome of Want. I have definitely gotten the pre-masterwork normal version, but that has really been it. Overall, guys, by a mile, the best way to get these Adept weapons is going to be specifically from the reward chest after beating a boss. Like, compared to chest farming, we did a ton of chest farming. Compared to the Tome of Want, we had a ton of Tome of Want drops going off. None of that was giving Adepts compared to just beating that boss and opening that chest. Again, even in that first encounter, the lowest power level version in Expert, as long as you're an Expert, after killing the boss, those chests will drop Adepts way more than any other source we've found. And guys, keep an eye on the channel, hit that notification bell, because later today I'm going to be uploading a video going over some builds, some things you can use to make the Nether, and especially the Expert Nether, a heck of a lot easier. Guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus, as linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.